Chick flicks. We all understand what term means, even though there's nothing that the man should particularly like and not the woman or vice versa. But generally there are some aspects in movies that determine whether it will be aimed more at a male or a female audience. The biggest stereotype of male cinema is action, the typical movies of people shooting each other. And also obviously the villains. Darth Vader, Hannibal, Joker, these guys are pennies. Metaphorically, I wish it were literal. What I'm saying is that chick flicks don't have villains, or they don't usually do. Notting Hill has its respective plots, but not an antagonistic figure that generates them. Or Breakfast Club, you will like one or the other, however, none of them is a villain as such. Although this doesn't mean there cannot be a chick flick with a villain, and not just any villain, one of the best in cinema. Obviously, I'm talking about Mean Girls, which I think is the best chick flick ever. So let's talk about Mean Girls. Lindsay Lohan is an African girl. Yeah, she may be white, but she lived her whole life in Africa and studied at home. I guess there are no schools on the entire continent? Now she wants to fit into society at 16. Her parents took the risk. She could come back from school and hang herself from a rope on the first day. Well, learning the hard way is usually the best. On the way to school, she almost got run over by a bus. Look at that foreshadowing in your face, Nolan. She arrives at school and people are crazy, totally crazy. They set things on fire, it's all quite animalistic. In the classroom, each one is weirder than the other. Bad vibes, couples, an irritable bowel, and the worst, a gothic lesbian and a fat guy. Almost too gay to function. On top of that, she runs into the teacher and bro, so many donuts. Really, this has to last you all week. She robbed the bakery at gunpoint. Also, this happens to her.
My t-shirt's stuck to my sweater, isn't it? Yeah.
By the way, the subject of this video is girls and girly things. I have a question. Why women take off their shirts like this and men like this? I know that it stretches the neck of the shirt, it's not good and blah blah, but there are times when it's useful, especially when you're in a class and you don't want to be left with your tits out.
She just moved here all the way from Africa.
Welcome!
I'm from Michigan.
First black joke. Katie is totally lost. I forgot it, her name is Katie, sorry. She seeks complicity where she can, and of course, her comfort zone is black people. She introduces herself to a group of Afro-Americans, but they're not from Ethiopia, they are from the Bronx. She therefore decides to eat in the bathroom alone, and this is the first iconic scene in the film. Now she does become friends with the ones I told you about before, the goth and the faggot. They bring her up to date with what school is like, above all with the villains, the plastic girls. Three popular girls who seems to be the most important things in school. The leader of this is Regina George, the biggest bitch on the planet, and you really hate her, she's a shit. All due to the actress who is spectacular. All the actresses are very good, Lindsay Lohan, Amanda Seyfried and obviously Rachel McAdams. She fits the role of the slut very well. Midnight in Paris is the same, unbearable. The fact is, everyone loves the plastic girls, everyone does what they say, everyone follows their fashions, everyone except the friendly couple, who hate them and want to ruin their lives. Curiously, the girls are attracted to Katie and invite her to join the group, which she accepts out of curiosity and also to function as an undercover agent for the goth. To me, this is the best thing about the film, taking a person who knows nothing about the social world, doesn't care about status, doesn't care about fashion, doesn't give a damn about superficiality, and uniting her with the opposite. The film works as a huge critic of the world of girls, of high school, and of social relationships. If everything is presented in such sublime way, is to be able to contrast both worlds so well. It wouldn't have the same weight if the main character were a teenager like any other. Katie becomes a plastic who respects her dress code, respects the imposed rules such as she can date a plastic sex partner, because curiously she starts to like a guy who was previously with Regina. And she also adapts to some extravagant habits for someone who grew up in her house, like looking in the mirror and highlighting her physical defects. Why?
My hairline is so weird. My pores are huge. My nail beds suck.
Katie meets Regina's mother, who is like an old teenager. It's incredible how this stereotype is timeless. They will always exist. We also see the book, where the girls write things about their classmates, obviously in a negative way. They couldn't say a classmate dresses well. You're not paying me attention, do you? Regina finds out that Katie wants to get her ex and tell him that everything is fine, although obviously she's not going to allow it because she's a liar. Even though she left him, she doesn't love him unless someone else loves him. What a bitch.
Hey, Africa. You staying for the mathletes meeting?
It's really funny how this boy calls someone Africa with that face. Oh, there is a group of math Olympiads or something like that. I swear, nobody cares. What we do care about is that there's a Halloween party tonight. Woohoo! Yeah, the perfect excuse to wear very little clothing and not be judged by anyone. I'm not the one who said it, the movie does. Katie is totally out of context. She wears a really played out costume of a corpse ex-wife or something like that. I really support it. Don't tell me that the whole marriage thing doesn't look good with the blood. It's a good combination. Maybe the thieves are a little too much. At the party we discover that Karen is kind of incestuous and that Regina is a whore. We already knew it. She talks badly about Katie to the guy she likes and kisses him. Sorry I don't say the names, but there are 200 characters and the only ones that matter are Regina and Katie. The god one too, but I can't remember. Katie sees the whole situation and leaves, crying as a wife left at the altar. Let me tell you, I always find myself on the gay and gothic side of life, watching Friday the 13th in a chill way, eating popcorn and not at a shitty party. Now the revenge begins. Step 1. Give her a food moisturizer for her face. Step 2. Wait for a bus to run over her. Well, the plan isn't so good, but as the plot progresses, it gets better. What Katie does is try to make the friends fight each other, making one believe that Regina is angry with her for no reason at all. Here is a very iconic scene from the dance. Why this scene is so well known, I have no idea. Let's say it's a combination of magical factors.
Called my mom and started yelling at her. It was so retarded.
It's amazing how many times the word retarded is used in the movie. They were very base. Katie gives Regina like a diet bar to lose weight while she fucks her boyfriend behind his back and tells him Regina is unfaithful. Little by little, everything is going in her favor.
You smell like a baby prostitute.
What? How does she know that? Amanda Seyfried's character is very stupid, but I love her. She's really cute, although she feels a little left out compared to the rest. She could have been depicted a little more. Although the character I think is really good and left aside is the teacher. I don't understand why Katie gets angry with her. She always treats her well. Also, she tells her she got divorced and everything bad in her life is her fault, but this doesn't give a damn to the African. She goes to the book and says that she's a drug dealer, without any context. Look, I really like the movie, but this seems to me the most out of the blue of all. Out of nowhere. The usefulness of this fact is to show us that Katie is more of a plastic than an African. She paints pictures of everyone, cancels dates for superficial plans and doesn't care about her friends. Even she kicks Regina out when she doesn't respect the clothes rules. Then Katie becomes the leader. She manipulates everyone as she pleases and organizes a party at her house, betraying the trust of her parents. Dude, what is that shit? At the party she gets drunk and her romantic interest shows up, with whom she has a strange conversation to the alcohol, I guess. She throws up all over the guy who gets really angry, natural, and then the god shows up all pissed off. Oh, sorry, I didn't tell you. She cancelled going to see her at an exhibition because of the party, and on top of that, she didn't invite her. Such a whore. This scene is also very iconic, but even more powerful. It's the scene of Jack with his haze lost in The Shining, the scene of Travis talking to himself in the mirror in Taxi Driver. It's Otto in Spider-Man 2, it's the main character in Fight Club, it's Harvey Dent. What I mean is herself is the fucking villain. Masterful. Why is this the best chick flick ever? Not just for having one of the best villains in cinema. It's for having one of the best villains and having the main character turn into everything you hate throughout the entire film in a matter of minutes. Maybe I'm rambling too much, but I think humor is widely undervalued. Comedy films are never considered complete works. They have a separate ranking. Teen films are also treated this way, in my opinion, very unfairly. Mean Girls is a proof that the film genre can be light-hearted but still be excellently made. A gangsta film will always be awarded over a high school one, obviously, but this doesn't mean that they can be equally or even better. I mean, between Mean Girls and The Godfather 3, draw your own conclusions. Back to the movie, if you thought Katie was terrible and no one can beat her, you're wrong. Because Regina finds out the bar her friend was giving her actually make her gain weight, and she realizes they were trolling her. Therefore, she lets out the longest and most extensive scream I ever heard in my life. They must have removed Rachel McAdams' tonsils after that scene. What is her revenge? Handing over the book and blaming her friends. And not only that, handing out photocopies of everything they wrote all over the school, which generates a pitch battle between girls. Curiously, they don't talk badly about the boys, when perhaps it would make sense because they are an ex-partner or something like that. Who can hold more resentment against someone than an ex? Ah, women.
Coach Carr, step away from the underage girls.
Oh my god, the YouTuber teacher! The teachers gather all the girls to have a talk. The funny fact is the only man is the gay one. He must identify as a girl, or it's just a plot convenience. In the talk, everyone confesses all their sins. However, they also throw the truth in Regina's face, who gets really angry and runs away. But in this moment, a bus runs over her. Dude, look where they were. It was a really long street. The one who was driving maybe hated her. Like there were two girls in the middle of the street. Regina doesn't die, but she's left half paralyzed, at least for a while. At this moment, Katie went back to the beginning. She doesn't get along with everyone. She's even forced to sit behind the guy with the irritable bowel syndrome. Man, did you hear that? It's the first sound effects that appears on YouTube when you search for fart. I think the sound guy wants to save some money. The difference with the beginning is now Katie decides to be honest. She tells everyone the truth. She wrote stuff in the book. She's honest with the guy she likes, and she participates in a competition for that maths team that nobody cares about. This really seems a nonsense to me. She wins the competition by being decisive and brilliant, but for what? It doesn't add up to anything. On top of that, there is this shot of the boys celebrating that made me want to hang her up and end it all. So fucking awkward. If we talk about things that don't add up, there is the spring dance. Fuck, that things never matter. But watch out, this time I like it. Yeah, I defend the most cliché ending in the movies. Katie wins the Queen Award of I don't know what bullshit. Sorry, I've never lived in the United States. I don't know if these things exist or are the biggest invention in the world of movies. The fact is, she wins and she turns into a communist. The award is for everyone. In a way, it's like that. It's something that everyone wants and everyone strives for it, but the winner is defined by a series of superficialities, not by the effort of each one to improve aesthetically or spiritually. Nevertheless, valuing the effort, we are all the kings of the dance. Nobody wants to be a jerk. We try so hard to be good people, or at least not screw up someone's life. So Katie shares the crown with everyone because they are all kings and queens. Thanks for watching.